What's happening, YouTube, Facebook, and across the entire Ranger Nation? Anthony Marsh on PRLostGalaxy2014 / Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film, and welcome to a brand new review of Hasbro's Power Rangers Lightning Collection Zeo Gold Ranger. Let's open him up. Time for a gold rush. Alright, everyone. It's time now that we finally got the Gold Ranger out of its box. Let's take a look at its accessories, but before we do that, let's do a little brief synopsis. For the longest time, for almost nearly 25 years since Power Rangers Zeo, I have never witnessed that they would actually do an actual TV accurate Gold Zeo Ranger without the muscle. Over the years, when the Gold Zeo Ranger was first introduced into the franchise's lore since Power Rangers Zeo, I've always wanted an action figure of the Gold Ranger that didn't have all that buffy muscular, because over the almost near 25 years since the season, the Gold Ranger had gone through multiple action figure releases over its course of its run. First, you had the mainline Zeo toys back when Zeo was on the air. Then you had a Super Legends Gold Zeo Ranger during Operation Overdrive in the 15th anniversary. Then 6 years ago in 2014, when Super Mega Force happened, there was that 5-inch action hero 6th Ranger figure of the Gold Zeo Ranger, which sadly I never did get when Super Mega Force happened. And then this guy from the Legacy line of Zeo figures, which by the way we'll compare that later, but just to make that point. And here we are, this figure of the Gold Zeo Ranger. That's almost 25 years of Gold Ranger power. Gold Ranger power, like Jason. But okay, let's get to the point. I'm getting ahead of myself. First thing we have to talk about is this lightning piece. According to the lighting on my video, or maybe for everyone else's, the lightning piece for the Gold Ranger looks more yellow than it does gold, especially from the color and contrast on my video. Now let's see how it looks with the lightning piece on his gold staff, which, by the way, the gold staff is okay from what Hasbro did with it, but I actually prefer the one that Bandai did a little more, because this one had hold on for a moment. The gold staff from the Bandai one has more paint on it, but Hasbro didn't color this part gold, so therefore, yeah, that's another thing. And then also the circle dials to his staff when it opens up was also red as well, and they never even bothered paint that in. If you can tell the difference between the Bandai one and this is the Hasbro one so far. As with every other Lightning Collection figure for Power Rangers, comes with interchangeable hands, which is fist, no karate chop hand. Good God, thank God. Let's see how the lightning piece looks on the staff. See if it looks any decent with that, because hold on for a moment. Trying to get the piece onto the staff for a bit. And this lightning piece looks more like yellow than it does gold to me. That's what got me here, is the way how it looks more yellowish gold. I mean, and look at that. This is the lightning piece with the staff around it. Then last but not least, Trey's head. We'll talk about Jason when I do that. This is Trey Triforia's head. When the Gold Zeo Ranger came out for the Lightning line for Wave 5 recently, I would have personally minded it if it came with another head of Jason. If for those who couldn't afford the Jason 2-pack like I couldn't, this was an opportunity for people like me to get the solo Gold Zeo Ranger, but if only it came with this Jason head. Now, if you recall, for those who own the Jason 2-pack already, this head, hold on, sorry, it just fell out of my hand because these heads are so small for these action figures. This Jason head was with this Gold Zeo Ranger for those who did afford that Jason 2-pack last year at last year's SDCC. Whereas when you get the original Red Ranger, when you get the Red Ranger with the Jason 2-pack, now let's bring out the Red Ranger from last time, that Jason had the Dragon Shield with this for the 2-pack, so basically I already got Jason's 2 Ranger forms. Although the Gold Ranger was mainly Trey, but I mostly associate Jason with both the Red and the Gold Ranger, particularly the Gold Ranger. Now, on to the Gold Ranger itself. what do I tell you? Aside from the paint fault, the painting flaws on the cuffs to the gloves of his uniform, the rest of the suit looks pretty good. And even though I say this is the better finish of gold on this as opposed to my customly painted Legacy one, when I first got the Legacy Collection Gold Zeo Ranger from Bandai 2 years ago, this was, that god-awful atrocious butterscotch gold. But see, that's the thing. And again, I would say both Bandai and Hasbro, well, in terms of the helmet sculpts for the Gold Ranger from both Bandai and Hasbro are pretty good. But in terms of who did the gold better, I say Hasbro. When Bandai did this, again, this was customly painted before this review, and you can see my Infinity Gauntlet in the background, forgive me for that. The Gold Ranger, this one from Bandai, it had that god-awful looking gold to it, which was more mustard colored or honey mustard colored gold than usual typical gold. So get rid of this one. We don't need this anymore. You're done. So whereas, well, when I look at the Gold Ranger that Bandai, here I go again, Hasbro again, I mean, this is actually more definitive than the one that Hasbro, that Bandai was doing, because at least the gold doesn't look completely cheap at all. As for the articulation, due to the amount of armor, this is not unlike the the Bandai one where there was making it so heavy for it to stand when on certain furniture. The lightning figure is a lot more lighter. Also, there isn't that much articulation you can do with the arms when moving them up, which I never did point it out in a lot of the lightning reviews, because all the lightning figures are all the same. Also, my Gold Zeo Ranger's helmet, for some reason, is a little lanky when I move him, which I don't know what the heck was with that deal, because something tells me this helmet is easier to take off when putting the head on. And also, I like the way how they put that shiny shimmer to the visor of the Gold Ranger's helmet, which is pretty neat for them to do, because unlike, okay, you look at the Bandai one, it's just basic. This has a little bit of some shine to it, which I mine from Hasbro's version of the Gold Ranger, which is pretty good. Okay, pose him a little bit to see how he looks with the posing. Down now, let's look at him with his golden staff. Let's get that up, going and put that in his hand, but with the lightning piece, all over the place. Because of course I can make some good poses, with this, as good as the Bandai one, but the Hasbro Gold Ranger, I feel you can get more articulation with. So hold on, it's just I'm trying to get the fingers open so I can put this in all the way. And this is a neat representation of the Gold Ranger, and I'm happy that Hasbro did something right for once. I don't know why is it every time lately when I review these new Power Ranger figures from our new toy owner and franchise owner, I'm always confusing them for the Bandai figures, because I get that I still have plenty of Bandai Power Ranger stuff, and I know I just don't want to get rid of that. Because I know that Bandai wasn't perfect, but the only Bandai stuff I liked from them again was the Zords and Morphers. But the action figures, I feel this is a massive step up from the ones we always had. And look at that, this is the Gold Ranger with his staff with the lightning piece in it, which is great. You can get some good articulation and posing with the staff. Just look at that. Amazing, isn't it? Because I never really thought I wanted a more TV accurate Gold Ranger than ever before, because it took almost 25 years to do so. Now let's look at how the Gold Ranger looks in comparison with his Legacy figure counterpart, where, well, I would say that every time also when I look at the Gold Ranger staff from the Bandai one, the staff looks a little adjacent. Of course, this is its closed formation, and this is its open formation from the Hasbro one. So with Bandai Zeo Gold and Bandai and Hasbro Zeo Gold, this is how they both would look in comparison, standing each other. See who has the more definitive staff and the more definitive figure mold and everything else. Okay, one more thing before we wrap up. Before I put on Jason's head on both the Red and Gold Rangers to compare, okay, let's take off the Gold Ranger's helmet and put on Trey's head, because basically when this standalone release of the Gold Ranger came out, I wish it would have came with Jason's other head, the one that was where he was smiling, like from the 2-pack. Because personally, in terms of the, well, it seems like you don't want to stay on, don't you? It seems like personally for me with the Gold Zeo Ranger, when this was released and was announced, I know that if they released the same head sculpt for Jason that was for the regular Red Ranger, it would be a bit redundant buying the same head sculpt of Jason. Man, you just don't want to stay on, Trey, don't you? Okay, I got him on. And, you know, I minded them giving us Trey of Triforius' head because, you know, it's no surprise that they had to go for someone who was the original beholder of the Gold Ranger powers before Jason came back in Zeo, because for anyone who watched Power Ranger Zeo like I did, and knowing Zeo is one of my favorite seasons of Power Rangers ever. But personally, when it came to the Gold Ranger, it was, you know, I remember rumors back long ago during Zeo that they originally were going to make Billy the Gold Ranger after Trey was, you know, after Trey of Triforia revealed it himself. But, you know, of course, you know, Billy stepped down from getting the Gold Ranger powers, and thus that's when Jason came in. Now, Trey doesn't look bad in action figure form with his head, and I personally would have liked it if it came with that. It came with another Jason head sculpt that was from the again the 2-pack, like I said before. Let me take Trey's head off, because basically, for anyone who is a fan of Jason Austin St. John himself, it's a lot better if you put Jason's head on the Gold Ranger body, and it looks a lot 12 times or so better, because this was exactly how Jason looks like when you got the 2-pack, for those who did. And you know, it fits Jason more than Trey, because even though it works, because just look at that. Now, this is what I call Gold Ranger power, Jason style. And though, again, the Gold Ranger powers were too powerful for Jason, thus that's why he has to get back to his old red tights, that being his original Ranger form. And just look at that. Because it's incredible that it took me a while to get both the Mighty Morphin Red Ranger and Gold Rangers, because I made it clear I wanted to do these two figures back to back to make more sense for Jason. And then when I get the Red and Gold Dino Charge Rangers back to back, that will be the same thing. And I just like the way how they just did the Gold Ranger helmet, because it has more of this shimmer to the black and on the gold parts of the visor, and it's just so beautiful. It's just, every time I just look at this helmet of the Gold Ranger, I can see if they did a Lightning Collection Gold Zeo Ranger helmet, I would have one right about now. And also, I never did bring up about the way how they did the Gold Ranger shield. Unlike past action figures of him, they actually added more detail, putting the black around the gold trims of his shield, which is beautifully well recreated for realism from the show to an adult collectible action figure. Whereas the Legacy, now when you look at how they did the shield on the Gold Zeo Ranger from the Legacy one, of course, again, this is customly painted, there was none of that black detail like it's seen here recently on Hasbro's figure. So props to Hasbro, screw you Bandai for not doing nothing right after so many years. So so this is how it looks. Now let's take the staff and see the Gold Ranger with his helmet underneath his armpit, like I did during my Mighty Morphin Red review with Jason. But this is how I would have liked it if it came with Jason's head. I mean, even though Trey is the original Gold Ranger of Zeo, but Jason was better. But okay, I guess you don't want to, have the helmet underneath the armpit. That's fine. Another thing I noticed, the articulation in terms of trying to get his hands to fold, and then when I'm trying to hold the helmet, it seems like it doesn't want to do it. It seems like it doesn't want to do it at all, doesn't it? Okay, move Mighty Morphin Red aside. Man, that light is getting to me. Make me lightheaded. It's, you know, lightheaded myself. And make me lightheaded. Okay, let me see if I can get his helmet underneath his armpit. I guess you can't do it because yet in the product, but for some reason the product images had the Gold Zeo Ranger have the helmet underneath his armpit. It seems like I'm not doing nothing right with that. I did it right the first time with Mighty Morphin Red last review. I don't know why I can't do it with this. Yeah, I know, this is a stupid blunder. I can't believe I have to leave this unedited. You know what, fine. Don't have the helmet underneath your arm. So this is exactly how I would have pictured if this came with Jason's head, you know, even twice. I mean, again, Trey is fine, but I prefer, you know, like anyone, I rather prefer Jason as the Gold Zeo Ranger. So let's take this off and put the helmet back on, so just to show a small demonstration. So in conclusion, the Gold Zeo Ranger is great. I highly recommend it for anyone who's a fan of the Gold Ranger, a fan of Power Rangers, a fan of Power Ranger Zeo, you know, a fan of Zeo in general, because it's really worth the money. You know, 20 bucks was really worth the money for this figure. Actually, both of these. And especially if you're a fan of Jason, you know, Austin St. John, I highly recommend both get the red Mighty Morphin Ranger and the Gold Zeo Ranger. If you want to buy another Jason head, buy another Mighty Morphin Red just for the Jason head. If you're not a fan of Trey, do that, because then have both, you know, both heads of Jason, one head on the Mighty Morphin Red and the other on the Gold Zeo. So anyway, guys, that's it for my review. I'll see you guys next time with a brand new review and so forth. Anthony on Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film / the PRLostGalaxy2014, you know, Facebook and YouTube channels. Subscribe, drop a like, and I'll see you guys next time with a brand new Lightning Collection review and further other action figures to review this season. Thanks for watching.